Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning back in. I think it's going to be a really good week as we talk about those events that are going to happen for sure in the end times. And the Bible says we are in the end times. Certainly, we are 2,000 years closer to the end of time than when Jesus was alive, and he said we were in the end times. We're not talking about the events that might foretell that it's getting close. Read Matthew chapter 24 if you'd like to know those things. We talked yesterday about the surety that Jesus is returning again. Today and the next couple days, I want to talk about the major things that are going to happen around when he does come back. Today, our topic is the tribulation. The tribulation. Now, what's that? Well, let me just, before I talk specifically about that, can I give you just a overview of the book of Revelation? Because that's part of the reason that we're doing this topic this week, because in Saddleback Laguna Woods, read through the Bible, read through the New Testament, that is. We're coming to the book of Revelation next week. And so this week, I wanted to prepare you for that. Now, it's very easy to get a general overall view of the book of Revelation. People always get nervous as they read that book. And oh, it's so hard to understand and this and that. And it's almost like it's a mystery. It need not be. Now, the first 3 chapters are the description, the Apostle John, who wrote this book, the book of Revelation, his description of 7 churches that existed during his lifetime. Actually, right at the time that he was writing. 7 real existing churches. So for us, reading it 2,000 years later, that's like history. That's what was past. Now, when we read those chapters, we can see current day churches that are similar or just like them. And so it's like a warning. It's like a wake-up call to our churches. Don't be lukewarm, he says in one. Be hot. Be excited about Jesus. And that's what we need to be. And there's no reason not to be, is there? He's coming again. And he's alive and well in his church right now. Now, so that's the first 3 chapters. And then chapters 4 through 18, those describe what is called, right, in those chapters, the tribulation time. And what is, and by the way, then chapter 19 of Revelation is about the millennium, and we'll talk about that in the next day or two. It's the 1,000-year reign of Jesus Christ right here on earth. Now, 20 is on the millennium. 21, 22 talks about what heaven's going to be like. But 4 through 18 of Revelation is what we're talking about today, and it's called the tribulation. And in several places in those chapters, it tells the length of that time. In Revelation 12, 14, it says times and a half time, or 42 months. You can do the math, 42 months. In another place, in 11:2 and 13:5, it says 1,260 days. And both those things add up to 3.5 years. Put together, it's 7 years. So, however, of course, because of that, the tribulation, those 7 years, are often divided into those 2 sections. The first section not being as brutal and terrible on the world as the second half, the second 3.5 years. Now, what do we know about the tribulation? If you read those chapters, that is 4 through 18, you'll see that John was given a glimpse not only, of two places. One, what was going on or will be going on during that time in heaven. And it is spectacular. Revelation chapter 4 is one of my favorite books of the whole Bible because it describes the amazing, wonderful worship of Jesus that's taking place during the tribulation in heaven. What a chorus of praise between all the followers of Jesus, between the angels, between those who have gone before us already, many being the saints that were martyred for their faith. Wow, what a spectacular chorus of praise. Other parts of those chapters describe what will be happening here on earth during those 7 years. And there's a couple of things that we can say about that are gleaned from that. And I'll read you a couple of the verses from it in just a moment. But 2 things about the tribulation. And I know that a lot of the teachers of Revelation go into great detail of trying to figure every aspect out. And when it talks about the seals and about the bowl BOWL, bowl judgments. And there's several things, judgments, all of which come down to number 1. It will be a worldwide calamity, worldwide disasters, worldwide earthquakes, worldwide judgments on the earth. And I'm going to read a couple of those in just a moment. Not localized, not localized. Because the fact of the matter is, isn't it, that right now, I don't know how many times in my life there's been a bad earthquake in some part of the world, or a tsunami. Well, a tsunami is the result of an earthquake out in the ocean. But, or wars break out. And the people will ask, is this the tribulation? No. Why? It's not worldwide. And secondly, it will be unique because all the people in the world will realize that the end of the earth is coming. In Revelation 16, it talks about some of those bowl, BOWL, wraths. And it says, the first angel went and poured out his bowl on the land, and ugly and painful sores broke out on all the people who had the mark of the beast and worshipped his image. The next one, the second angel, poured out his, and it was like the sea. It turned into red, like blood. The ocean, can you imagine the ocean like I have behind me being red? It's going to happen. That's toward the end of the tribulation. But who could see that and know that the end is not coming? The third angel poured out his, and the rivers became like blood. You can read Revelation 16. You can read other places. Tribulation is a terrible, terrible time. And that culminates with the Battle of Armageddon later in chapter 16, where all the world is at battle. And it's the last battle. And it's the end. It's the end. So the obvious question is, do we as Christians go through the tribulation? We're going to discuss that issue tomorrow. I don't think you want to miss that, do you? I don't. I'll see you then. God bless. Walk closely with your Lord today.
Oh, come to the Father through Jesus the Son, and give